Greetings, greetings, greetings. Tonight, or what we say, this rising. What a time to bring in Saturn Day, huh? We're gonna talk about our men needing accountability rehab. I had posted something on Facebook, was it last night? And it read, this is what it read. It said, how have men been treating women this year? That was the question that I have posted, right? Got some interesting responses. Yes, I did. I got some very interesting responses. Let me go to the post. Because even if this isn't seen this rising or it's midnight after midnight, if it's not seen tonight, it will be seen tomorrow. And I want to see what your comments will be on the video. It's live on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. So we're going to see what kind of conversation we get tonight on this subject. It was supposed to be done earlier, but due to the fact that I was doing hair earlier, doing my son's hair, I didn't get a chance to come on here early enough. This wasn't a holy day presentation. It was just a demonstration. Let me say that. It was just a, what would I say? This was just a discussion. So when I asked how have men been treating women this year, I got a couple of different comments. And with that, I had one comment say, how have women been treating men this year? That is another question too. How have women been treating men this year? Because it does go both ways. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. Um, so I'm gonna go over some of the comments that were left here by a couple of people, some men, some women. Let's see. So one said, when the brother said, "How have women been treating men this year?" I said, "Like spoiled brats." And I said, "No, brother, that's not the question because that wasn't a question." But yet, I can understand why he responded in that way. So when I said like spoiled brats, he comes back to say, "You already know, right? Brats." So this is about do our men need accountability rehab just as much as our women do too. So we're not just picking on the men, but to make the topic what it is. Because I seen Dr. Umar say it, and I actually went back to watch it. Well, no, it came back up through my algorithm again, and he was like, I hope he was like, brothers, this ain't the year to be mistreating women because of the energy we in, because of the primordial mother is gonna whoop your tail for it. So that's where I got it from. That's why I asked the question. So then I have someone else come and say, this is the sister that says this. The deflection is real. Ask about men's behavior, and somehow women become the topic. Always. Because, like I say, they don't like accountability. regardless of what. That explains everything we need to know. Women have been blamed for the motion of the masculine energy for an entire cosmic age. It's old news. Move, move, move. It's old news and his story. Now, the re emergence of her story is what's going to heal this planet. And they hate it. So, men, do y'all hate the fact that it's going to take the women to heal the planet? Is that why it's a battle? Because it always turns into this woman man thing. And I'm watching even on TikTok where the brother, his name is Rick the Ruler. He's a comedian. And he always comes on talking about his wife and how he loves his wife. And he was like, yeah, men don't want accountability. He was like, because we're made to be providers. So to be a provider don't make you a man. That's what you already called your role to be. You called your role to do that. And that does, man, that's valid. He said, when I got with my wife, it wasn't that I didn't I knew what I needed to do. So just stepping in the position and it's never about, oh, well, because he pays my bills. That doesn't mean anything. A man's supposed to do that. He's the provider, he's your man. So then a brother comes in and says to the sister, it's going to take both energies, not just the woman's energy. Both sides are to blame for the condition we are in. Some men treat women like crap, and you have women who treat men like crap. It goes both ways. And it does. Because you can see women treat men like crap and they be really good guys. And the woman will treat that man so bad that it ends up scarring him. And then he ends up being, who knows, rebellious toward women, can't stand women, or maybe even decide to go the other way. You know, women do it too. They have to take accountability for their part too. And it does take both. So I agree with both the sister and with the brother. I agree with both of them on both of it. It's so true. It does take both of us, but this is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the way men treat women. Um, so I also get one that says, a sister says, no significant other, but plenty of significant men in my life who treat me like royalty. Thanks, dad, brother, nephews, and sons. And that's fine. Dad, brothers, nephews, sons. We can all, I mean, as women, I'm sure we can all say that. I would think. Because and I'm asking about the collective of women. Not just, because your brother or your dad, okay, that's fine. But the collective, as a collective, what have we been seeing with women? It's more domestic violence. And I'm talking about with women, period, going through things where you're watching these men lose it completely. I read an article where there was a man and woman, they decided they were going to get a divorce. This just happened like a couple of days ago. They were going to decided to get a divorce, sell the house. The house was in the woman's name. She was like, okay, we're going to sell the house and we're going to split the money. So that's what they were supposed to do. That was the agreement. She didn't have to split the money because it really was in her name. So she goes to pick up the children or something and get the rest of her belongings because they're going to move out. He ends up unaliving her right there. So what is it? Where's the accountability? Well, why did she want to leave? Why is it so hard for a woman to up and leave a man? Why do men get so upset to the point to where they're going to stalk you? They threaten to take your life away. They abuse you in all those ways. So my thing is, that can be all good and dandy, but what have you been through as a woman with a lot of these men? A lot of women have been abused. They've been mistreated. all that. Like he said, yeah, this is more men than it is women that treat the other like crap. It's more men that do that than it is sisters. So my response to her was, she said she's really speak. So I said, well, how about the women around you? I can say that when it comes to my son's brothers and some friends, because I do too. I have the ones that protect me too that are around, that are good to me and treat me amazingly. But I'm really speaking as a collective of women, not as one woman, not because the three women you're around. I'm talking about women all the way around in general, period. As a woman that's been played a very important role in the temple. And even once I left the temple, the women that come to me about the brothers in these organizations, how they treat them, and even when they call them their wives, they mistreat them. Those women are being abused in front of those children. All of that, all of that. So, I never got no brothers that came to me and said, "Hey, hey, Sister Latay, my wife's over here abusing me and the children." I never got those calls. And if the brothers got those calls, those were never discussed. But when the women come to you, and these are from, and I would say from churches on down to temples, all the way around, up to the temples, all the way around, like women in general will come and there's things they're going through. And even when they're going through these things with these brothers in these organizations, no matter if it's a church, if it's a temple, if it's a mosque, if it's a whatever it is, the Majid, whatever it is, these women are being mistreated. And this is going on all around the world, not just in America, all around the world. The hottest commodity is a woman. They make more money trafficking a woman, a young girl and woman than they do a brother. They want more of the organs from our brothers than they do anything else. So, as a collective of women, how are women being treated? As a collective. And so she said, comes back and says, my circle of women are the same with love and respect. Okay. Your circle of women. What about women as a collective of women, as women as you see as a collective as a whole? Because this energy we're in is a collective energy. It's not you and your circle. It's a collective energy. It's a Christ consciousness collective aspect to this thing. That's why I ask, how have you been treating women? And you must be honest with yourself. How have you been treating that woman in your life? Have you really treated her with the respect or has it been something else? So then another one comes in and it says, um, the brother says, and there are plenty of women who have egos and act as if they came to this world without the seed of a man and say that they don't need a man, when in reality, we need each other. Yeah, and you brothers constantly want to talk about, because they talked about this yesterday on the live. That's the first thing you say. Women talk about they don't need a man. Well, why are you trying to mess with the women that don't need a man? Why aren't you getting with the women that do need a man, that do want a man, that do want a brother? Or is it that our brothers can't stand in those positions in the way they need to? Because as I say, a man could do all these things, pay your bills, he could do all that. Does he show up when you emotionally need him? Because being a provider is what he's supposed to be. He gave himself that title. He gave himself that role. So what else is it after that? After the smash, after the encounter of laying down with each other, what is it after that? Is there anything after that? That's what I want the brothers to ask. Because is it only about being able to get in the bed with that woman? What comes after that? Even after that? And then you're together, you're married, you're this. I was married for a long time, and it got to a point in times I didn't want to have no intercourse. And then I would be ostracized for not wanting to have intercourse. That's crazy. You're being abused because you don't want to have intercourse because the person don't want to have intercourse. Excuse me. That's wild. This is why I say accountability rehab is important because without our brothers, y'all supposed to be leading. So where did it come from? I was listening to some videos today with my son where they were talking about the Adam and Eve story. And we heard about Lilith, and my son's like, "Yeah, I play this game called Diablo, and Lilith is on there, and he's breaking down the game, and yeah, Lilith wasn't going for that." So as they're breaking down the Adam and Eve story, and like, yeah, you see, when Eve bit the apple, nothing happened to her. It's after Adam did it because Adam wasn't supposed to. So where's your post? Everybody want to be off their post and don't ever want to be on the post that they're supposed to be on throughout the history. Period. And my sister Shonda has coined that many times. Adam, you was off your post. That's where this chaotic energy comes from. You got us in trouble, homeboy. Lilith already knew. Lilith already knew what her duty was. She already knew what the assignment was. And she didn't fall for the okie doke, whatever his setup must have been. We got to remember how all that came about. The fall, a man coming down to have intercourse with the daughters, with the daughters. So then Sister Shonda says the most childish thing a big grown man can do is deflect, irregardless of your perspective of the new data you introduced. Context matters, and in case you missed it, I'm going to repost the topic of the post. Now, dear Mr. Sir, Brother Moore, please can you respond accordingly? I love this. I don't know what the response may be. You know what I'm saying? This was a little later on. And as I said, this was some time ago when I posted it. Well, this was yesterday when I posted it. So my thing is, how can we, how can we, how can we work together to make sure each person is taking accountability? You know what I'm saying? Man or woman, whichever, brother or sister. Because it's women out here that they totally disrespect their mates. And that shouldn't be. We should know how to show up as a wife, as a woman, because I've been a wife, I've been a woman in a man's life, being his woman for years on end. And to know your place as a woman, to know the role that you are there for. It's bigger than it's bigger than what a lot of people may think. The woman wears a lot of hats in the relationship. She's thinking for everyone. The man, the children, herself. Most brothers can't even take on that load of thought. But a woman will think things through. She got 10 things going on in her head at once. While you got one. You come home from work, put your feet up, I'm hungry. Now, hey love, how was your day today? Come tell me about your day today. I know I'm just getting home, but I want to hear about your day. Are those things important to brothers? Are they that important to them that you really want to hear her though? You really want to hear when she's saying things to you that you hear her. And you got the compassion to sit and listen and help direct the energy. Because you're the director. You're the directive energy. So do you show up in those spaces for your woman like that? As a man, as being a brother in a woman's life. Because I guess we should take the man woman off of it. The energy, or what energy are you bringing in? Is everything you're complaining about everything all the time? Where she's holding the weight for everybody? Because, like I said, the woman's going to take on all of that. The energy her man brings home through the door, she's going to take that on. That's why I say, if any women, I mean, for me as a woman, I know I treat my brother as a spoiled brat. And a lot of times, even as women that are like that, that will give men give them the things that they desire, those, and it's not even on a sexual nature, in other aspects, as a friend, as a confidant, as all of that. If she's really that type of woman. Some women just, yeah, they all about themselves. That's where the problem rose into. But the brothers, y'all don't choose well either. You choose sloppy too. I was watching a video earlier with my sons, and it was on YouTube where these brothers come on. I forget his name. It might be called Big Chaser or something like that. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick to play the video of what they were saying. But the women were saying that men can be ran through. And the brothers was like, nah, man can't be ran through. What? One brother was like, no, he can't. Man can't be ran through. And they're like, yes, he can. If a group of women all do it, he said, no, no, no. One brother said, no, 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 no. He's running through them. So then the host that's on there says, just say they got loose weenies. Just say they got loose weenies. That's what you would say about a man. So in all essence, yeah, you might not can be ran through, but you just loose with your stuff. You don't even respect your man parts. Whether you sending women pics of it or videos or whatever. You don't even know how to control your man parts. Let me see. Let me see if I can find him. Big Chaser. Let's see. Is this the brother? No, that's not him. That's not true. Excuse me. Let me see if it'll come up. Let's see. Man, I wish I could find. But anyway, he said just say that these brothers got loose weenies. So that's a good way to put it. They do. Because as much as you don't feel you've been ran through, or you that may not be the term we could put on it, but it is loose, especially when you outmake multiple children and don't even stay in the homes to make sure those homes are homes. Like I say, our men need accountability, rehab. Let's be accountable for the things that we've created. And it also comes from another podcast I went to watch yesterday. And this is what brought it up also. Moors in America did a podcast where they were saying, is something about real men or are they living as Peter Pan? So he had a brother on there, and I couldn't really hear because the video kept going in and out. The brother that was speaking, but it was his energy was just a mess. He talked about. He said, "Well, men, at least we have other men to look up to, so we know how to dress and present ourselves." And da da da. He said, "And women don't have none of that. They're just ratchet. They just dress." Excuse me? No, that's not true. Because the last I checked, I don't know who the heck y'all saying you can look up to dress when your clothes are tight. So it looks like you looking at women to dress because my goodness, how tight are your pants and your shirt and your jacket where you're busting out of it? So I'm like saying to myself, so who dressed you? You didn't even go look in the mirror and put yourself together. I used to tell my sons that, man, go look in the mirror. Your buttons are going to be, if you don't, your buttons are all crooked and everything else. So do you know how to properly dress yourself? So never say that a woman don't, because I do. I've had women, and I look up to a lot of women that dress very modest and beautiful. I love my Muslim women and Moroccan women and Muslim women. The garb is beautiful to me without showing anything. So when you say that, it was like, wow. And I'm sitting here watching the brother, the sheik at the top, like, dang, you ain't gonna defend it. But I don't know if he defended it or not later because the video kept going in and out. So it was like, wow, to allow this man to come on here and speak down on the sisters, like, really? And every other word coming out his mouth was B and nigga and da da da. And like, wow, oh, all right, this is how we doing it. But let me stand, and because my left is over my right or whatever happened that someone wasn't in agreement with, then and the sisters do something, then it's always somebody coming for them. But nobody came for that. And these are temple members. Wow. I'm like, wow. Oh, okay, that's the face. That's what you want this to look like. A woman bashing movement on all levels. So that was something that disturbed me. And that's why I had, when that Dr. Umar video came up again in my algorithm after that, it was like, yeah, how have men been treating women this year? Because your karmic debt is coming on your behind. And I mean, you look at the way you've treated women over your lifetime. Is it always the same? Do you come up with the same results? Why can't you keep a stable relationship with a woman, with one woman? Not because, oh, she complains, she nags too much. What are you doing to for this to happen? Because at first you wasn't saying that. So what did you start doing that shifted the energy or changed it in order for her to react in the way? Because with every action is a reaction. So she's not doing it for no reason. She stopped having sex with. Well, what did you do to make her stop having that with you? Where's the accountability on your part? What did you do? It's not always her. And men like to do that because they'll go to the next victim and blame the one before her. Oh yeah, she did this, she did that. So now this woman has this idea of another woman, and now she has, this certain, oh man, really? That's how she did you? Because we're such nurturers. And a lot of time it's the men messing up their own stuff. Now, there's women out there that do dog these brothers out. But was that your karma coming back on you? And I mean in the energy itself, as brothers. Brothers should show up in this way with everybody, with every sister, with all sisters. My sons don't just hold the door for me. They're going to hold the door for any woman walking through the door. That's the difference. How do you show up? Is it just for the few women in your life to make it look good? Or do you do this on a mass level? Because I've watched women being beat down on these videos while men stand around and film it with their phones, and the girls too. So it's like, ooh, wow. That's how you feel about your sister? Even if it's a brother getting beat down, that's how you feel about your brother? That you film it, you'll take it and pull your phone out in a minute. Our men need accountability rehab. Because if they were more accountable, I feel we'll fall in line. We would be more accountable if that's what you're saying. Because then someone's going to say, well, women don't have no accountability. Well, maybe if you did, maybe she would. It goes both ways. It sure does. It goes both ways, not one way. It goes both ways. Sad, sad, sad. It goes both ways. It never just goes one way. How are we treating each other? And when I said on the post, I said free hugs upon admission. Of course, no one's in here, but maybe tomorrow you'll be willing to listen to this demonstration and get you a free hug from somebody, from a sister. And I don't care what your background is, what color you are, none of that. That's why on the post itself, it's all different cultures of men. Because the story I told you about the man and his wife splitting the house money was a Caucasian man that took his wife out. So we're seeing this on a large scale, not just in cliques and circles, on a large scale as a collective of women. And then brothers and men wanna dog the women out. Make it our fault about everything, about being single mothers and all that. How? When, hey, yeah, there are some women out here that try to keep their children away from the father. Yes, we can definitely say that. It's some trifling women out here that push that agenda. And their children grow up without their father in their life. And they don't understand that what damage they do when they do that. Like, do you understand you have to cultivate that seed that you just laid down and had this baby with this brother? This is why our brothers lose their minds too. Some of these women don't give them the opportunity to be a father or to show up in these spaces as men. Women will beat them down what they're not doing, talking to them like they're a child. This is what you need to do. Da, 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 da. So you constantly in his ear, constantly on his back. So women do that. Women do that. But we ain't talking about the women. We're talking about the brothers. Where's the accountability for y'all so you can show up and be that leader that you are supposed to be? You're supposed to enforce it. Enforce the laws that mama lay down. And the primordial mother, I mean it. The energy, the law of nature. This is why Adam messed up the law of nature. Follow that. Because then the accountability is there. And as a leader, we can watch you lead and we don't mind following. But can't nobody, you can't lead me to the hole to jump in with you. You gonna dig a hole for me and you too. Cause don't think you about to just dig one for me, or do you think you're just gonna dig one for a woman? It's gonna be one next to that hole, and you're gonna jump in that hole yourself. So whether you've been cheating on your woman, cheating on your wife, any of that, any infidelity, it doesn't matter. See, when you lay down with a man, it ain't being married ain't about a piece of paper. When you lay down with a man, women, sisters, that's your husband. Once you have taken your clothes off and exposed yourself to this man, that's your husband. Once you've shared yourself, that's your husband. Brothers, that's your wife. So why you think you can loose weenie around this bad boy? You can't. Accountability, brothers. You can't keep doing it. You want to have a woman here, a woman there, but you want these women to bow down to your everything you say. When you're not being that, you're not showing up in those spaces for this woman or for whatever woman you decide to be with. And if you're gonna be doing all that cheating, don't be with nobody. And leave it open just like that. Look, this is all that it is. It's nothing more than that. Let the woman choose. That's why I say our men need accountability rehab. Let the woman choose. If she want to mess with you and you got 15 other women, let her choose. Don't make the decision for her. So I say, even when women don't want to have intercourse with these brothers, you get mad. Don't make that choice for her. If she don't feel like it, because it's gonna come a point where your stuff don't work. And she gonna want some. And you sure ain't gonna want her to go out and do nothing with nobody because your stuff don't work. Cause you done had loose weenie for too long. And you don't even realize that that time comes for you too, brothers. Accountability rehab. Your weenie ain't gonna work forever. So why y'all be so bigged up on these women uh, and the brother was like, and the BBLs and the this, well, y'all the ones that have really pushed that agenda. That's what y'all glorify. Y'all glorify this stuff. And then wonder why society looks at the sisters like that. But it's your fault. You should have been more on your post to be like, nah, we ain't dressing like this. Our sisters should be covered up. You look so beautiful, cover it up. It takes you guys to step into that leadership role and be true leaders, not just leading because you trying to get some, you trying to impress, but showing up as leaders and being that. We make the law, you enforce the law. Mother's the first teacher, so the baby's in there first. So when the baby comes out, she's already making laws. Look, this is what needs to be done. Duh, duh, duh. Hey, such and such didn't do such and such. What does daddy do? I'm telling your dad when he gets here. Hey, you didn't do what you dad enforces accountability, brothers. The accountability of enforcing things and being genuine about it and knowing how to stand in that. Not just because you go to work every day. No, it's bigger than that. How do you show up? Yeah, your household, you got to make sure that household is in order first. But with that household in order, how do you show up in the world? To your community? Because it don't just stop at home. Like I said, women could do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things at a time. How are you showing up for your community to show that? To make a difference so that the young ones coming up behind you or other men that may not know how to be that can see it. Not for Facebook, not for Instagram. What are you doing when nobody's looking? How are you showing up in the world when no one's looking? That's the question. How are you showing up? Because it's more than just laying down with somebody, bringing a paycheck home and paying the bills and buying a whole bunch of nonsense, bags and shoes. What else? What if all that didn't exist? How else do you show up? If everything was to shut down and these girls couldn't get their laces and their bags and their shoes and bills paid and everything shut down and everybody had to figure it out how to govern themselves. Brothers, how y'all gonna lead? Accountability rehab is important, man. How y'all gonna lead? Our brothers come out of prison, messed up in the head, do their best to try to get in a relationship, but they're so screwed up through from the system. And then when they get out, they're expecting to see leaders. A lot of brothers came out of prison expecting the Moorish Science Temple of America, the movement, the organization to be moving to the point to where they didn't have to get out and be on fight or flight, trying to figure out which way to go, how to do it. And these organizations are ran by men. Our men need accountability rehab. I don't care what kind of degree you got, what kind of house you live in. Our men need accountability rehab because you're supposed to be your brother's keeper. It should be more programs to where you men are getting in these prisons and speaking to these men, not just looking good for the camera, not just putting on a suit and wanting to get on a screen and talk. What about these people behind the walls? Have y'all thought about them? These your brothers. Some of y'all been behind the walls and y'all done got out and act like y'all done forgot it. Forgot them. So what are you doing to better that, to show up in a better way? So when they do, they can have healthy relationships when they come home. It's no such thing as it's a whole bunch of men, whatever. I don't believe that. It's so many men, so many women to one man. That's some bull crap. Because the quality ain't there. That just means you want a loose weenie when you even thinking like that. You should be wanting to find your one and build from that. Adam's problem was his loose weenie. Obviously, that's why Lilith was like, "I'm good. Take your loose weenie on over there. Hey, y'all do y'all thing, because I'm not going against Allah. I'm not going against nature. I'm not going against the primordial mother. I'm not going against the father. The father instructed, mother laid down the law, and the father enforced. So we get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? It's coming back on daddy. Because he was the one enforcing it. That's why he said Adam. He didn't call Eve's name. He called Adam. Adam. What Adam? We don't realize how deep that really goes when it comes to that. What energy they put on our brothers, on our men. And this goes for all cultures. What energy that put out there through these rituals and all the things that they do. I don't care if you're a regular person, a celebrity, it don't matter. The celebrities can't keep their relationships. All they do is toss around to one another. They can't even keep a relationship. Those men in those spaces can't even do such. And I guess that's who y'all got to look up to put your clothes on and stuff. That's wild. You have to make it make sense. Because where we're at in this world right now, to be feuding with one another and fighting against one another is not it. And brothers, y'all 10 times stronger than a woman. So I don't understand all this abuse. What can a little woman do to you? Hurt your feelings? You've had your feelings hurt probably your whole life. But don't take it out on no sister because you didn't know how to properly deal with your emotions. This is why accountability rehab is important. Because accountability rehab is a solution to you not pouring or bleeding on others that didn't even cut you. Accountability rehab, you'll show up better. You'll stay on your post the correct way. And stop trying to blame women when it's you. It's our brothers as a collective because it's the energy. It's the energy. You might not be like that, but your brother next door to you is. What are you doing to help him be better in his mind? Just because you can get up and go get in your Porsche every day and drive to work, do whatever you do. What about the one next door? Or the one down the street? Or the man on the corner that's peddling for money? When do you really become that? Because I'm telling you, you'll never have a problem with a woman following, but she must see something to follow. What is there to follow? But when the accountability comes in, we ain't got no problem with it. When you can say, you know what, I overreacted. I shouldn't even acted like that. I know you really didn't want to do that right at that time, and it's all right. But you should already be in that mind state. You shouldn't even have to go back and say that because the woman didn't want to lay down with you. She didn't feel like it. Women hold a whole lot going on. And it's no, baby, you want to talk? You good? Nah, you just mad because she don't want to do it. Well, what's going on? You all right? We need to talk. She probably does need to talk. And she needs your ear right now. She don't need your penis. So then she could be a better woman for you the next day and so forth. Because you heard her. You didn't judge it, you heard her. And even if it was something she might have said, it was something you did today when we got up and it just made me feel uncomfortable. And instead of you flying off well, what you mean what I did, da, 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 da," instead of you doing all that, take accountability for whatever it was and say, you know what, let's sit down and let's talk about this. Because if that's the way I came off, I didn't mean to come off. Maybe I was, it could be something was on your mind. I had a whole lot going on in my head and I might have came off harsh on you and I apologize. Accountability. There's nothing wrong with that. Cause y'all sure want us to do it. Oh, you forgot how you forget the steak? I told you forget the steak. I told you to get the steak when you went to the store. How you forget the steak? Nah, dang, babe. That's all right. Okay. It's all right. We can figure something else out. And it could just been an honest mistake. Accountability rehab is so needed. Brothers, we need y'all in some accountability rehab. It will help us better as women to see really what a strength of a man is when he takes accountability. Because to me, that's what men are. They take accountability. They don't deflect. They don't try to put it on the woman for a mistake they made. They see the mistake and they correct it. And then that makes the woman even fall into place even more to do the same. I see I might have disrespected you. I came off this way. Love, I really didn't feel like having intercourse because this was going on. Because now you have more of an open communication and nobody's hiding or saying, okay, I'm just going to lay down and do this anyway. Oh my goodness. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10 in our head, we're going, I wish you hurry up. Because there's 15 other things on our head. I wish you would just hurry up. And it should never have to be that way. This is why we have to take time with one another to hear each other. But our brothers got to take accountability for what they bring and what kind of strife and stress they bring to these relationships. Y'all bring a whole lot of baggage with you. Your ex-wife, your ex-woman, your baby mamas. And then you want to come in here and you want to put that on our shoulders. The woman that you ain't been with, we ain't been with you. But now we're being blamed for everything everybody else did to you. No, where's your accountability? I know where I messed up. I probably shouldn't even cussed her out like that. Oh, I know where I messed up. I cheated on her and then she ended up leaving me or whatever. I gave her an STD, whatever the case may have been. Take accountability for it. Don't blame her. What did you do? You played a role in it too. It takes two. I know why me and my ex-husband, it had to stop. I was tired of the cheating. I got so tired of the cheating, I cheated back. That ain't the way you handle things. I was wrong. So I know what role I played in us not being together no more after that. I didn't necessarily have to go do the same, but I was tired and fed up and he was not hearing me. You're just gonna go do it. You cool for 2 months and then here we go again. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm not gonna do it again. You might jump on me, beat me up. Oh, I'm not gonna do it again. You good for 3 months. And then right back to acting the same way. Even the instability of keeping whatever you need to keep your household running. Just because a man go to work every day don't mean he ain't coming home beating on his wife and drinking or doing other things. It does not mean that. Because the man that's getting up every day to go sell some cards at Walmart that he made at the house and may not be able to dress up all the way is treating that woman way better. They might have to keep whatever they got to keep a room every week, but he's doing whatever he has to do to make her good, to make them good. Not even her, to make them good, because it's for the whole. But we always want to give the respect and say, oh, he's being a man because he makes 8 figures a year. That's being a man. That is not. And he's batshit crazy. Him and his 10 figures a year. So egotistical and so caught up in himself. As the Bible would say too, men will become lovers of themselves because they don't want accountability. They don't want accountability. So you'll fall so in love with your lower nature because your higher self accepts accountability. Your God self accepts accountability. But when you in your lower nature, your devil, dragon, beast, Satan, and Lucifer, you don't want accountability. You don't want accountability. So I trust your heart is a lot of you brothers, your heart has been as light as a feather this year for your women, for your sisters, for yourself. Start with yourself. That's where it starts. Because you got to start with you. So you have enough room to be that. You have enough room to show up like that. And you won't spread yourself too thin. So stop projecting the blame onto women for choices you keep glorifying. It's not just about broken homes. It's the constant excuse that women are ratchet, unrefined, or lack standards, leaving men with no good options. Let's call it what it is. Men have fed, funded, and glorified hypersexualized energy for generations, then turn around and act surprised by what they attracted. When you only view a woman sexually, you like the idea of a woman, but you don't actually respect or like women. The objectification, the lack of real connection, and the refusal to see us as full human beings ends now. Okay? It ends now. Because we are full. Full. We're primordial. We're the most best energy you can have. When you enter into a woman, you go to heaven. That is your heaven. That's where heaven lies. That's where heaven is. Because even when we give birth to a child, they come from the heavens. So the heaven is the womb. That's why the respect for women has to be better, because that is heaven. You want to see heaven? You want to witness heaven? Treat your women right. All your women. It shouldn't be single women out here. It's enough brothers out here. That's why I say if y'all were ready and doing what's supposed to be done, there's many brothers that's behind those walls that probably could be amazing husbands to a lot of women if they have the resources when they came home to really be that. The resources where they can go in a space and they can learn how to be a better them first. Bring them back in society and teach them how to be better fathers, better husbands, better community leaders in all aspects. The accountability is real. So I trust you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. It is 11:14 where I'm at. And we are in the Lionsgate portal. So happy Lionsgate. Happy Lionsgate. Happy Lionsgate. This Lionsgate portal is wide open. Manifest. This is why accountability is important. We got to manifest these things. We got to manifest these amazing relationships with one another. We have to fall in love again and not love in a, as I said, not, oh, that looked good, and falling in love with the idea, or dang, because she got this kind of body. Not that. I'm talking about essence. That essence of love, that energy of love that just expounds out. And everywhere you go and everywhere you look, you can feel it, you can see it. And it's not seen through a lustful eye. It's seen for the purity of what it is. Love is the savior of the world, but not love from a materialistic standpoint or from an objective standpoint. The objectification, not from that standpoint, the energy, that energy, the INNER, big G. So, peace and love on this amazing Saturn day, Lionsgate portal. Y'all have an amazing one. Islam, peace and love. And I trust that this could be a conversation that can be had maybe tomorrow evening. We'll see what these comments will be like after this live is over and what people wake up to, and if they'll view it. We're gonna see what people have to say about this. Cause we here for you, brothers. We just want you to take accountability. We here, arms wide open, just wait.